In today's news, 18-year-old high school student charged with gun-related offenses. Premier Wheatley dialogues with the diaspora in the United Kingdom. Environmental health promotes mosquito awareness across the schools, and USVI's Aaliyah Boston signs multi-year deal with sportswear giant Adidas. We have the details of this and so much more when 284 News returns.
Yep, that's me. You're probably wondering how I got here. My name is Kamal Haynes. Most of you know me from 284 News, but now you get to see me in a different light on my very own show called Health is Wealth. We have Joel Turnbull.
I don't want you to arch your back when you're pulling down.
Milton McLean.
First of all, right, your footwork.
Stephen Payne.
That was a 9 out of 10. I know you got the service down pat.
Steve Augustine.
You did a pretty hard workout today, so perhaps...
And as you can see, it's actually
you're feeling it.
Alonzo Boynes.
Taekwondo.
Adam Murrows.
I'll speak as if you're an absolute beginner.
I am an absolute beginner.
You are an absolute beginner.
And Seth Graham.
It bites. It will bite.
Get your water, get your fruits and veggies, and experience a wealth of knowledge about getting healthy.
Hello everyone, welcome to this edition of 284 News. It is Friday, May 12, 2023. I'm Ron Grant, bringing you the latest out of Tortola in the Virgin Islands. Thank you so much for joining us, and a happy Friday is wished to each and every one of you. Beginning our newscast on the local scene, an 18-year-old high school student has been charged with unlawful possession of a firearm and unlawful possession of ammunition. He is Brandon Benjamin of Bellevue, Tortola, and was apprehended by members of the Royal Virgin Islands Police Force Armed Response Team. In a statement provided to the media on Thursday, May 11th, the police said Benjamin was attempting to flee on a motor scooter while in the area of Fort Hill prior to being apprehended. They said, and I quote, "His arrest is as a result of increased patrols conducted by the Armed Response Team to reduce crime opportunities and enhance police visibility and safety within the communities." Benjamin is expected to appear before the magistrate's court at the next available sitting. Police are appealing to the general public for information on any persons known to be carrying or in possession of a firearm. Such persons are being asked to contact the Royal Virgin Islands Police Force Intelligent Unit at 368-9339. Again, that number is 368-9339, or the Crime Stoppers hotline at 800-8477. Conservative United Kingdom Member of Parliament Alicia Kearns is calling on all overseas territory to fully support the LGBTQ+ community and to move in the direction of legalizing same-sex marriage. MP Kearns was speaking in the House of Commons during a debate entitled Future of Overseas Territories at the time of making the appeal on Thursday.
Now, whilst overseas territories choose to remain part of our global family, that does not mean that we should blindly accept the status quo. We should challenge ourselves to provide the best possible support to their individual hopes and needs and strive to support them to achieve. We should embed engagement across government directly with overseas territories, rather than relying on all manners of priorities to be dealt with through the Foreign Office as some sort of arbiter. There is widespread frustration about just how difficult it is to engage in either the most basic of dialogue with government departments. And surely, given our belief in self-determination, it is only right that overseas territories make their own case to government departments rather than relying on the Foreign Office to act as messengers. They make their own case best when their voices are heard. This will also help tackle any lingering belief in paternalistic governance. And the Foreign Affairs Committee itself made this recommendation in 2019, because neither their territories nor their citizens are foreign, and therefore it is fundamentally at odds to have them supported through the Foreign Office.
Now, Kearns' message comes at a critical moment in the history of the BVI, as the territory is soon set to embark on its first referendum to have the people decide on the matter of legalizing same-sex marriage in the BVI. Just recently, Premier Dr. the Honorable Natalia D. Wheatley revealed that the referendum will be coming to the public soon, ahead of the final High Court ruling in the case involving locals Kenesha Forbes and Kirsten Lettsome, which is set to occur in June.
We want to do that actually very soon. As you know, we would be having I think there's a case which is slated for June. So we wanted to be able to have the referendum ahead of that. So that's one thing, of course, that is persons are going to be hearing about very, very soon.
Should the court rule in favor of the couple, Section 13 of the Matrimonial Proceedings and Property Act, which provides that marriage is void unless the parties are respectively male and female, would be declared unconstitutional and therefore be null and void. Due to such a decision being critical to the future development of the territory, Premier Wheatley said a referendum was needed to allow for the people's views to be made clear in an official way. During a recent pre-election forum, Dr. Wheatley explained that the referendum will allow for the true opinions of locals to be made known to the United Kingdom and the respective courts.
What has been recommended to me as a means of strengthening our case is to be able to allow the people of the Virgin Islands to make their views known and clear as it pertains to their belief that marriage should be between a man and a woman. And the referendum allows you the opportunity to, in an official way, send that message to the court system, to the United Kingdom, and to whoever else in terms of what we want to see our community to be. We don't want the United Kingdom or anyone else or the courts to get into the business of making laws for the Virgin Islands. We believe that's the poor view of the people of the Virgin Islands.
During the aforementioned forum, Premier Wheatley stated his views on cultural imperialism, stating that he is totally against such practices as it can negatively impact the BVI culture.
One thing that I'm certainly against in our community is what we call cultural imperialism. This is where one culture wants to force their culture on somebody else's culture. And we in the Virgin Islands, we have a strong culture. We have a strong belief in God. We assert that we are a Christian community. And while we accept others, and while we certainly don't advocate for violence or discrimination against others, we are certainly firm in what we believe and what we want our culture to be. So of course we know that we have a legal case. And part of the purpose of this case, which has been brought against the government, which we are defending vigorously, we're defending marriage between a man and a woman. But we have a case where two young ladies got married in the United Kingdom, and they want to force the government to recognize their marriage, and they're asserting that our Marriage Act violates the Constitution.
Premier and Minister of Finance, Dr. the Honorable Natalia D. Wheatley, and members of his delegation met with a large gathering of students and Virgin Islanders at the London office in the United Kingdom on May 8, following greetings from Deputy Wheatley, Deputy Premier and Minister of Financial Services, Labor and Trade, the Honorable Lorna Smith OBE, and Minister of Education, Youth Affairs and Sports, the Honorable Sharibi De Castro. Ministers fielded questions and comments from those in attendance. Now, the delegation entertained questions on various topics, including advancement in education curriculum, incentives for Virgin Islanders to return home, assistance for persons with dementia, specialist healthcare needs, the cost of living, the use of artificial intelligence for solving crime, and the referendum on same-sex marriages, among others. Students who were in attendance are pursuing various disciplines, including law, government and political science, marine, engineering, and science. They expressed their gratitude for the opportunity to interact with the Premier and Honorable Ministers to meet other students studying across the United Kingdom. Meanwhile, Virgin Islanders in attendance congratulated the Premier on the formation of his new administration and wished him well as he and his team seek to advance the territory. They also expressed their gratitude to the staff at the BVI London office for their hospitality for another productive event. Premier Wheatley said he was delighted to engage with the students and was pleased with the quality of questions and comments received. One particular area that he promised to pursue is a development of a diaspora policy. Premier Wheatley acknowledged that there are a large number of trained Virgin Islanders in various disciplines throughout the world and looked forward to developing a structured way in which they can be engaged to address various challenges within the territory. Viewers, up next, we have more local news. We'll be right back after a quick commercial break.
Yo, everything good, Dad?
Aye. This thing got me one way, Daddy.
What you mean?
Ever since I hook up with this thing, I can't eat, I can't sleep. This is the first thing I touch it when I reach home.
What you really? Hey, this thing like you know.
Dad, this thing got me staying home, keeping out that trouble me.
Wow. What your name is?
Shit. I talking about my CCT life.
Don't worry about missing your favorite series, sports, news, and local programming. Come to CCT today and sign up for CCT Live to access over 80 channels. CCT Live. Bring it home.
1 month free trial turn into 5. 5 months turn into, well, you know I huff. I watching ball. I been watching football. Dad, Nickelodeon, Paw Patrol. I am hooked. Hook, I tell you.
Looks like Johnny's ex-girlfriend finally found my car.
You've got CG. You're fine. I'll never forget the year those monkeys stole my car. They drove it over a cliff, burned the seats, and carved the words pineapple banana smoothie into all the doors. And that was after they used it for the bank heist. I don't blame them. It's their favorite smoothie, and I refuse to share the recipe.
No deductible for theft, malicious damage, and more. CG Insurance. Good like that.
There goes my new car. Guess I'm back on my bike.
Your bike? CG offers new car replacement. Remember my monster truck days? Well, one night I attempted a 50-foot pogo double backflip. I landed it and went to karaoke. It wasn't until afterward that my car got hit by that fisherman. He gave me some great mahi-mahi, though. Anyway, they paid fast and got me in a new car. Now call a cab. I want you to meet my alpaca guy.
New car replacement for the first year of ownership. CG Insurance. Good like that.
Welcome back, everyone. Continuing on, United Kingdom members of Parliament are urging the UK government to do more for overseas territories to assist them in their development plans, especially those within the tourism industry. Member of Parliament Alicia Kearns made the plea during a recent debate in the House of Commons as members discussed a motion entitled Future of Overseas Territories.
A Tristan-owned vessel would also allow eco-tourism to continue and develop more tourism revenue over time to pay for its upkeep. Tourism is key to our overseas territories in the Caribbean. However, if this industry is to continue to thrive, investment in airports and portage is needed. The Turks and Caicos Islands have an airport business development plan ready, but it is sat waiting for UK sign-off. Equally, Anguilla, BVI, they are seeking support with expanding and improving their airports. We must support, not hinder these projects across territories. But more than this, I would encourage the government to see OT-led infrastructure projects as an opportunity for British investment and for British businesses. It is not enough for us to always think only of action on the OTs when they are in trouble, when we should be enabling prosperity and growth. No one else is asking for a hand up, they're asking a hand out, they're asking for a hand up. So let us ensure accessibility, be it by sea or by air. In today's day and age, accessibility is particularly key also online. And can I urge the Minister to reconsider the decision to close down the digital support team for overseas territories? I was shocked to find out that this had been closed without making MPs aware, when it is absolutely vital that we help OTs digitise the services they provide to their citizens.
Now, also lobbying for more to do on the overseas territories aspects was MP James Sutherland, who expressed that OTs need more love from the UK, especially with the current global environment that he described as being very unstable. He called for the UK to lock OTs in the free trade deals to allow them to benefit from the international trade arrangements.
To the UK. So if I have to make one point today, one point only, it is this. Our overseas territories need more love. In this era of global competition, the hunt for resources and strategic basing, and also instability across the world, our foes are circling, and we need to cement what we've got as a nation. So to admire the problem, if I may, for a moment, Brexit was not kind to the overseas territories. So what we now must do is lock the overseas territories into free trade deals with us and all of our partners, and also think more broadly to the Commonwealth. How fantastic would it be for global Britain to have this network of trade arrangements, particularly with the Commonwealth, and just think of what that might be worth to the UK. Think of the potential. The UK White Paper also from 2019 has gone nowhere. So where is it, please, Minister? But of course, any work that we now do, and I welcome the point being made about the new strategy, it has to be done with the overseas territories and not for them. The Joint Ministerial Council.
Continuing on, the Vector Control Unit in the Environmental Health Division here in the Virgin Islands is visiting schools, of course, as part of mosquito awareness activities. Deputy Chief Environmental Health Officer Ms. Henrietta Alexander said officers from the division will be doing a hunt in the schools to teach the children how to search out and destroy mosquitoes' breeding sites. Ms. Alexander said, and I quote, "The mosquito is responsible for diseases like Zika, dengue fever, and chikungunya. While our message of reducing," she said, "mosquito breeding and protecting self from mosquito bites remains the same, we feel it was very important to employ the children as messengers as we continue our mission to fight the bite." The Deputy Chief Environmental Health Officer added that the children will learn how to conduct surveillance activities by searching for potential mosquito breeding replaceables, and she said other key lessons will include ensuring containers that are not being used are placed in the face-down position, garbage is disposed of on a regular basis, drains are checked and cleared when water can settle, and containers are scrubbed at the waterline to destroy mosquito eggs. Now, these students will also learn about the parts of a mosquito and will be able to examine the insects under a microscope at various stages in its life cycle. Activities will, of course, continue during the week, including an expo on reducing mosquito breeding, as well as other vector control mechanisms by the Red Cross Emergency Preparedness at the Noah Lloyd Positive Action Movement Park on May 12th. Now, the community is encouraged to attend this session. Mosquito Awareness Week is observed, of course, to the 8th to the 12th under the theme Small Bite, Big Threat, and the community is being urged to prevent and protect themselves from mosquito bites. Viewers, when we return, we have much more on the local scene. We'll be right back.
Angie, how can I get my claims paid quick? Rent's due next week.
CG processes 99% of claims within 5 days. Remember when I was hang gliding with those goats? I caught a gust of wind and flew right into a moving car. Every appendage was in the cast, and they paid fast and fairly. That's what I get for trusting a man with a mustache and an eye patch. Now I gotta go. I'm meeting the guy who bedazzled my toes.
99% of claims are processed within 5 days. CG Insurance. Good like that.
Andy, turns out I'm allergic to the Australian veggie spread.
Ooh, thankfully CG will cover you anywhere in the world. Remember when I went to Australia for my title fight? Trust me when I say you do not want to get in the ring with a kangaroo. It wasn't until my victory dinner with the Sultan that I realized top shelf caviar doesn't agree with me. But I was covered. Anyway, I gotta go. I'm teaching your cousin how to use a flamethrower. Woohoo!
Medical cover anywhere in the world. CG Insurance. Good like that.
Father Jesus, that line here long like church service.
Alright, do enjoy the rest of the day. Next customer line, please. Wait, hold on a second.
Yes, Sonny boy, come, yes, Sonny.
Good morning.
Good morning, Sonny boy. Hold on there. You must have cut front of people.
It's okay, I'll take care of it.
What? No man to take care of me.
How may I assist you?
Yes.
You want top of power?
You want top of power?
Join the prepaid party with CCT and enjoy more affordable data plans, more top-up promotions, more savings with hero bundles, and more value for your money each and every Tuesday with Top Up Turn Up Tuesday. Visit a CCT store today or anywhere CCT Top Up is sold and top up your phone.
5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30. You want top of power?
Welcome back, everyone. The BVI Electricity Corporation is continuing efforts to foster safe and health work environments for its staff as well as community through a number of initiatives. Occupational health and safety professional Ms. Melanie James at the BVIEC recently spoke with me about a number of offerings at BVIEC. She first spoke on the importance of health and safety.
I think it's just a field that persons were not au fait with over the years, even though we knew that it was something that's important, even though we had trade unions established just to fight for the causes of occupational health and safety. I think generally when people think about occupational health and safety, they just see dollar signs. And they think that every fix is expensive, when sometimes it's just for us to take the chance to communicate, to talk, to think outside of the box, to find the right opportunity, the right mitigation measure to solve the issues that are present in our workplace, and more so preventatively than reactively.
In speaking about scholarship opportunities, she shared scholarship avenues funded by the corporation for BVI Islanders interested in pursuing a career in health and safety.
I'm so excited that the BVIEC Electricity saw it to be proactive, to say anyone in this territory who is a BVI lander who is interested in occupational health and safety, we are willing to sponsor you the chance to go to university for a bachelor's degree in this field or any field around the topic of occupational health and safety. And the process is quite simple. Once you are able to apply, you are accepted to a university, you can fill out our application process, you can speak to our HR manager or our deputy HR manager, who are the ones who basically administer these scholarship opportunities. And once you go through that process, we actually provide you basically with a full ride scholarship. And I don't think that people know, as you said, about the opportunity. How often would a company say, I'm going to give you a full ride scholarship to study in an area that you actually would be in a niche? How many of, there are actually just 3 professionals of occupational health and safety here in the BVA, and 2 of those 3 are not BVI landers.
Wow.
And I think it's important that we develop the skill here. I always tell my managers at work, I would love that the territory has a person outside of Ms. Dawn Correa Leonard, who's now retired from the public service, to say we have a batch of young people who can take the helm of health and safety and run with it. And I don't want it to die with me. So I want to be able to inspire a young person, well, it doesn't have to be so young, but a young person who's willing to pursue a field where you can be the expert, you can have the niche, you can have that area all for yourself, because at this point, it would only be you.
Correct. Additionally, the corporation is presently seeking a qualified candidate for the role of health and safety technician.
We reposted the role for occupational health and safety technician, and that individual will be working alongside me to further advance the principles of occupational health and safety at the BVI Electricity. And it's so important to note that we are the sole power producing plant here in the BVA, and everything we do is so important. We take the service delivery to our customers as optimal. But we can only do that when we have employees who believe that they are absolutely safe in doing their job that is inherently hazardous. This role as a technician, you would be executing things such as health and safety inspections. You can actually delve into areas of occupational hygiene. So we do testing for noise and vibration. So we ensure that, especially at the plant, our employees are not overexposed to the noise that we generate, not overexposed to vibrations, even lighting. We take into consideration those things. And you have the opportunity to see the territory from a different light. When I came to the BVI, I told persons were basically telling me, it's so small and there's not much to do. But in my role, having to go to Anegada, having to go to Jost Van Dyke, having to go to Virgin Gorda, I see the BVI from a whole different light.
Lovely.
And I do want to offer this opportunity to a BVI lander, a belonger. So one, as I said, I want to create that talent here in the BVA. And I'm just imploring anyone with any technical background who's interested in learning about occupational health and safety that you should apply. And even though we indicated that we want you to have a basic knowledge, a technical field, engineering, construction and development, any of those areas, and you believe that you can adapt to the area of occupational health and safety, because at BVI Electricity, we are a good learning environment. And I would just be open to the support and to be able to support someone in their development in this field.
As it pertains to what persons and organizations within the Virgin Islands should be paying more attention to as it pertains to health and safety, James shared this message.
Well, for me, I always believe that people are at the center. And there is no one thing that would fit any organization. But when you listen to your people, you are going to be able to detect and determine where your hazards are, where persons are having more issues in their workplace. And I am now leaning into the human organizational principles as it relates to health and safety, which says that humans make mistakes and we need to create environments that are feel safe. And we can only do that because our context dictates, our environment dictates what we accept. So if a person feels unsafe in their environment, they're more prone to make unsafe actions or make unsafe decisions. However, when we realize that, because we have this thing like we want to blame, and blame fixes nothing. So I want to inspire persons to not cast blame, because blame does not incite the level of engagement you want to push for a new environment, a new culture. You want to be able to foster a proactive environment by saying, okay, mistakes were made. How do we learn from these things? And how do we learn together? So the two things I would say is blame fixes nothing, and we want to be able to create feel-safe environments. So if someone does fail, it does not cause any immediate harm or danger to them.
And to catch that full interview, visit all 284 media platforms. As you all know, this weekend on Sunday, we will be celebrating Mother's Day, and CCT and 284 Media took some very special time out to speak with our very own mothers at the company. Take a look. Hello everyone, I'm Ron Grant. Welcome to 284 Media and a happy Mother's Day to each and every one of you. I am honored to be joined by my colleagues from CCT because Mothers Matter. I'm happy to present to you Mothers Matter 2023, a CCT and 284 Media Mother's Day special featuring our very own CCT mothers. Now I know them, but you don't know them, so I'm going to give each of them an opportunity to introduce themselves to the general public. Kirsty, you are a new mom. What was that experience like for you?
I hear so much people complain and say, well, I had to stop to do this. My life ain't like that no more. Yeah, it's true. You have to stop to do a lot of stuff, but it's lovely. You say, well, I will stop to doing, but what I doing is better.
Wonderful.
So it's like, I never think it's going to be a lovely experience like that.
Amazing.
I love to be a mother.
And we're happy to have you back to work, so welcome back.
Thanks.
Over, you talked about your vibrant 5-year-old. What is, or what has been, in your opinion, the most difficult part of motherhood?
When they actually get hurt, to see the pain, but yeah.
Okay.
Definitely seeing them in pain, especially before he could speak when you didn't know what exactly was happening. Definitely one of the most difficult parts.
No, Mother's Day has evolved because we are celebrating mothers all across the world, and that's really why we're here today, to have the conversation and to encourage persons to love and support their mom. Unfortunately, some persons are not quite fortunate to have their moms still with us. Do all of you still have your mothers alive with you? Beautiful. So that's a blessing. Is there anyone outside of your mom, Maureen, I'm going to start with you. Is there anyone outside of your mom who may have played a motherly role in your life?
No, not really. My mom is everything. And according to my coworkers at work, they still tell me that my mom has me spoiled. And yes, I'm going to admit it. Yes, she has me spoiled because if I feel like having saltfish and dumpling, or I feel like I want something to eat, I would get on the phone because she lives in St. Thomas. And I would say, Mommy, I need XYZ. And she said, okay, find out what time the boat is running.
Wow.
And she would put it on the boat for me, and I just go down and pick it up, and she would call me until I have it in my hand. And whatever I need, you know, I could always call my mom. And I love my mom, and I am so glad to have her around. And she is my traveling partner. I just love my mom.
And ladies, tell us about your relationships with your mothers.
Now that I'm a mother, I love Chimo because I know what she have to do to raise me what I am now. So she is my best friend. I can't say I have a best friend, no. Or if I have something to say, I go and buy somebody else first, no. I go with my mother. She showed me that side and always keep it on for me.
Lovely. And Ovary?
You get that strong bullheadedness.
Wow.
So you have no choice but to be strong.
A real Caribbean love.
That strength comes directly from her.
Beautiful. Vielka, I have to ask you, because just like Maureen said earlier, her mom is in St. Thomas, your mom is in the Dominican Republic. Tell me about that, and is it difficult not having your mom with you?
Sure. It's really difficult because, you know, most of them have the mother close, or anything she gonna be help you, anything you have to make a decision, she gonna try to tell you do the right thing too. So it's really, really difficult, but I'm glad I have a nice co-worker than me. So then it's my family too. I love them bad.
Beautiful, beautiful. As we reflect on as motherhood and all that you amazing women do, not only in caring and providing and being motherly figures, I want to ask you, what would you like the world to understand about a mother and her role in society, a role in the family? Because moms wear a lot of hats. What would you just wish people could understand about mothers? Maureen, I'm going to start with you.
But I would say to any parent, be a mother first and then be their best friend. Because there's so much of ills and they're going to have a lot of conflicting stories telling them what to do, what not to do. And you should have an open door with your children so that they can come and tell you any and everything and that there will be no secrets among them.
Viewers, that is it for today's News Roundup. I want to thank you so much for joining us. Be sure to check us out on all our platforms, 284media.com, as well as Facebook, YouTube, as well as Twitter, 284media BVI. Have a beautiful weekend, an enjoyable weekend, that is. A happy Friday. I'm Ron Grant. I'll see you next week. Bye-bye.